All right, guys, welcome to the Hungry for More call. I'm privileged and honored to have my friend and business partner, Nina Damjanovic, in the office on the call with us. Did I say her name right?
You did.
Yeah. All right. I think it's that Eastern European connection, right?
It is.
All right. Awesome. Well, Nina, obviously you came into the business about what, a year and a half ago now?
About a year and a half ago.
Okay. And I remember when you came in, you're pretty part-time, huh?
Very.
So what was the moment that changed for you? Where did you decide to go full time? What happened? And can you talk to the people about that so they can understand a little bit about what you went through?
So first things first, thank you, Julius, for having me on. You are one of the people, like, ever since I first started, I was like, I want to be like this guy. So back what we were on a Facebook Live earlier, and I talked a lot about how events change lives. So we have that, conference coming up in Arizona on Thursday. And I just can't stress enough the importance of being and attending conferences that are nearby. So if you're in Arizona, definitely go there, because there was an event in November of 2019 that changed my life, and you were actually there. So basically, when I had first started, I've been in the industry for a few years now. And when I first started FFL, like, I came into as like, okay, this is either going to make or break the industry for me. After this, like, I'm going to have to go back to personal training or whatever it is. So came into FFL, and I kept hearing success stories, but like, I didn't really believe that I could do it. I didn't have that belief within myself. So basically came in very, very part-time. Like, I kid you not, my first week, I wrote like $8,000. And then I went to Hawaii for 10 days, like literally 10 days.
Why is that a thing? Like, I don't get it. Like, you first get a taste of money, and then people just go run off like, all right, I got some money in my account.
It's insane. So I literally went, and then I came back, and then I had like $2,000 of chargebacks. And I'm like, okay, well, time to get back to work. And then I would go write another like 5K, and then I'd not work for like 2 weeks. So that was just like my cycle. And it was just like an endless game of like barely making any money, catching up, paying my bills. And like, I never really had anything left over. So like, I went to that November 2019 conference, and I'll never forget, I was sitting next to Grady. And I think that was like one of the most important things. Like, I wasn't sitting next to any friends that like could distract me or talk to me. I was literally sitting next to Grady, and I had my notebook out, I had my pen out, and I was just taking notes, and I was just soaking everything in. I was like, okay, these people crossing the stage right now and speaking are making literally 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 grand a month plus, right? And I was like, they're like literally nothing special. They're normal people. Some of them are brand new to the industry. Some of them have been in the industry for 15 years. And that's really cool to me. So why can't I do this? So
did you think the numbers were crazy? Like, when
I thought they were fake.
Oh, you didn't believe it?
No, I was like,
so even like I said something up there. Did you even believe me?
I remember Jordan came up to me and was like, Julius makes like 40 grand a month. I'm like, no, he doesn't. Like, now that I do the work and like I get the deposits, I'm like, dang, Julius really was making 40 grand a month.
Isn't it nuts?
It's crazy. So I just like was sitting there and, soaking everything in. And then I remember coming back, and you and I had a conversation. I was like, I feel like I could be really good at this. Like, and every time I go in the field, I sell, but I just don't have the activity. And you were like, why don't you just do it then? Like, you were literally, that's exactly what you said. Why don't you just do it? Like, set yourself up for a week of success, 30 appointments, and see what that does for you. And that changed everything for me. It went from literally 2 appointments or 3 to 6 appointments a week to 30 appointments a week. And guess what? I had my best week ever. And then what did I do after that? I just kept it going. And honestly, like, consistency, I've realized, is the biggest thing. It's like, you can't come off, a big month or big week and do nothing the following week, because that's just going to set you back.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, what you're talking about is kind of having one foot in, one foot out, right? Yep. Like, you were in, but you weren't in. And then you were like, I want to do this, but I don't know. And is this real? Is it not? Do I believe these people? It sounds too good to be true, right? Would you agree that sounds about?
Yeah.
All right. So, I was kind of like that too. And what's crazy is when I started, not only was I 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but I was, and I've told people this plenty of times, I was actually still looking for jobs. Right. And I'm depositing 10, 15 grand a month, I think my activity is where it needs to be, or at least, that's what I thought at the time. And I'm still depositing, I'm still looking for jobs, which didn't make any sense now that I look at it.
Right.
But so for the people that are listening to us, maybe this is their first call that they're on, or maybe they're just getting started with us. What would you say to someone that's 1 foot in, 1 foot out? How would you help them kind of make that decision for themselves?
Absolutely. I would say the biggest thing is find your why. What are you working for? Is it to, like, for me, it's for my family. Like my family moved to, you probably have a very similar story, but like my family moved to the US with me when I was 3 years old. So back in 1998, and they literally left everything back there to move to the US and to give us this opportunity. So like my thing's my why and my family. So if you have a strong enough why, there should be absolutely zero excuses to why you're not hitting your goals. So build a why that's strong enough, and then just, it's honestly having some respect for yourself. Like I said something this morning to Hayden, I said, the people that don't follow through with a goal that they have set for themselves just don't have respect for themselves. They don't, or their families.
Well, so let's talk about that, right? Because you say have respect for yourself. Are you saying you didn't have respect for yourself?
No, I don't think I did. It's just like going to the gym,
Okay.
like respecting your body. So if I've gained 15 pounds because of COVID and I'm not consistent with
COVID-19 is real, huh?
Yeah, it really is. But literally, like if I don't respect my body enough to go to the gym and fix it, I don't have respect for myself. And that's just the way I see it,
Yeah, I get it. And I think it's, you made a decision, right? Right. At the end of the day, you want to have respect for yourself, but you also, are you really going all in? Right. And because if you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and what does 1 foot in, 1 foot out look like? Some of the things I just mentioned a moment ago, maybe spending your time doing things that don't drive your business forward. Right. And sometimes it's distractions, whether it's family, sometimes, whether it's friends, whether it's activities. But like, Nina, once you went all in, how has your life changed? Like outside of the money, but like, what's different in your life now that you went all in?
Everything. I feel like as far as a person, I've developed a lot more. Like I'm actually working, I'm actually building something for myself. Like I'm able to provide for my family. I'm able to help so many different people. Money aside, like you simply just change as a person, and you're able to impact so many other lives. You know what I mean? Like me learning how to write 40, 50, 60 grand in a month forces me to teach other agents how to do that. And that's changing their lives. So.
Do you feel kind of free now in 100%. A sense?
Yeah. It's not the money, it's the freedom.
Yeah. You control your time. You control what you do, how you do it, and who you spend it with. Right. So awesome. Guys. So if you're hearing this, if you were 1 foot in and 1 foot out and you're still kind of trying to figure it out, just make a decision. Start by making the decision, right? Start by having respect for yourself, make the decision. And I'd say make a plan and go do this for 90 days, right? Like if you do this for 90 days, you're either going to make it or you're not going to make it. Would you agree?
I would agree.
And you're going to know, you'll probably know within 30 days if this is for you or not. You're not going to need 90 days, but if you give this thing 90 days all in, as hard as you can, there's almost no way you can fail unless you just don't work. Would you agree?
100%. Yep.
Because the numbers work out, guys. So Nina, obviously you're building a huge agency. You're now an executive vice president, soon to be board member. You guys are growing like crazy. Talk to us a little bit about your recruiting, what you're doing. We have a lot of people on our agency and our team, but also in the bigger group that are getting going, they're producing, and now they're looking to build their agency. What tips would you give them? What tools are you using? What would you say?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing, and this is one thing, first off, I never thought I could recruit. I thought I was just a producer. So when I came into FFL, I was like, producer mindset. I'm going to write 400 grand. I'm going to be selfish. I don't want to have agents. I don't want to tell people what to do. I don't want to baby people. That was my mindset. And what really shifted for me was, 7 months into the business, not having any agents and being like, okay, like I'm making 30, 40, 20 grand a month, whatever it is. Why can't I teach other people to do so? Like I could change lives. So I would say the biggest thing is hire from day one. Like you literally don't have to wait to hire a bunch of people. Just show off the opportunity. And the way I do that, like for me, I'm like a beast at recruiting.
Are you able to actually crown yourself a beast? Like, is that a thing?
Well,
I mean, you just did, I know, but I'm
a
just
beast at like promoting.
Okay.
And using free tools
Mhm.
to recruit.
Such as?
Social media, literally. I use LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. Literally, you name the social media site, I've probably used it.
So
for
you're doing
recruiting
all of them?
purposes.
You
All
do
of
it
them.
yourself?
I have recruiters, but mostly myself.
Okay.
Like,
So can you tell them a little bit about what that sounds like, what that could look like? Because I mean, even myself, like I went from snapping pictures of my food to what I'm doing and thinking I'm like this great photographer to now trying to be, you know, advertise my business on
Yeah.
social media. So I just learned by watching others, but can you share with them what you're doing?
Absolutely. So if you think about like you posting your food, like this
Mhm.
was me. I used to post other irrelevant stuff. Like I'll
Mhm.
post a perfume and say, "Oh, let me put you on," and then like all these girls message me and say like, "Oh, where'd you get that perfume?" So like that's how you have to view your business and FFL. So it's consistently promoting, being positive, and just posting the right things. And like you might be new, so you might not have a story yet for yourself. Share other people. Like Julius, how many times have you posted something that I've reshared?
Tons.
All the
and
time,
vice versa.
right? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter who it is, where it's coming from. All of us are in the Facebook group. We can all pull and grab content from somewhere. The key is just to do it. So like when I first started, I was like, okay, I'm going to make one post a day about FFL. And that didn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not getting in front of people enough. People aren't seeing me enough. People don't even know what FFL is if I'm not posting about it, you know? So I got in this habit of like, it went from like posting once a day to posting 3 times a day to posting 10 times a day. Now it's literally like endless. And at first I was like fearful that I was annoying people, but like,
Were you more worried about you were going to get judged?
yes.
Like, oh, I don't want them to think of me as this person or
yes, like
yeah.
I'm like MLM, like recruiting
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's what I didn't want viewed of me. And honestly, I just stopped caring because guess what? People started reaching out to me and I started changing people's lives
Mhm.
by them, you know, simply getting licensed with us, getting started with us and getting paid. So
Yeah.
like, I don't care about the people who block me, unfollow me, do whatever. That doesn't matter at all. The key is that you're going to get in front of a bunch or the people that you need to get in front of at that time to change their life.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing is just like literally staying consistent
Yeah.
with it.
And I think, you know, I think for some people, like, you know, your demographic of who's watching your shows versus who's watching or your pages versus who's watching my pages versus who's watching someone else's page is all different, right?
Mhm.
So I think you also have to kind of look at where are you going to be able to connect with more people that are going to actually watch your stuff, right? For some of you it might be Facebook, right?
Right.
For some of you it might be Instagram, for some, you know, wherever it is, maybe it's LinkedIn, but find your audience that you can connect with the most and post there. And that doesn't mean to avoid the others, continue doing it on the other platforms. But, you know, for me, I connected with a bunch of people on Facebook,
Yep.
you know, just not that I don't have people on Instagram, but that was where I was getting the more
Exactly.
responses from.
Mhm.
So awesome. So social media, free platform that we can all use. Guys, one thing that Sean Mike said, and it just makes so much sense. If you don't use social media right now, that's okay. You don't have to use it for personal reasons, but use it for business. Create a business page. You literally can have, I think, 5,000 friends.
Mhm.
I think is the limit per person.
And it's so easy to find people in the industry too.
Oh yeah.
Like-
What? Give me an example. What do you do?
So, you know, someone that works for FFL, hashtag FFL on Instagram,
Mhm.
there's going to be a bunch of pictures. Usually Alexander Street pops up.
Yeah, he does.
But
He's all
yeah,
over there.
because he's so good at it. Like
Mhm.
hashtags it everywhere, but you could put in literally any company, any name. There's
You can do insurance. You can do insurance sales. You can do
Solar
sales. You can
sales,
do
yeah.
solar. You can do. I mean, it's endless, right? You just have to know the different jobs that are, you know, similar to ours. It doesn't have to be just insurance, right? So
Right.
anyone can do this. So awesome. All right. The last topic I want to talk to you about is working as a couple. Obviously, if you guys don't know Nina, I'm not going to repeat what Grady called it earlier, but her other half,
my better half.
yeah, your better half. He didn't call it that, but your better half, Hayden, he's actually in Vegas right now, and you guys work together as a couple. You guys do different trips and things like that. So talk to us. We have some people on our team that are a couple that are joining the organization. What is it like to work as a couple? What works well? What challenges have you had? What, you know, share that with
Yeah,
us. It's a little different
absolutely.
than what most people are going
Yeah. So I think it's really cool because Hayden and I kind of started in this industry together with a previous company. And honestly, like him and I just work very well together. And we're very fortunate for that, where I have weaknesses, he has strengths and vice versa. So for us, like when we started, so I started with FFL first, and I was here for about a year until Hayden decided to go full time because he honestly saw the success. And I was waking up like, hey, do you see my advance report?
So they don't know what that, I don't know if everybody knows what that means.
An advance report?
Yeah.
Okay. So you write a policy the next morning from America or whatever carrier, you get an email at like 4 a.m.
It's the best email every day.
It literally says like commission advance. And that means it's literally going to deposit like that next day.
Mm-hmm.
So, he had a great job. He was in medical device and, he was making money. He was like, I just want the stability for our family. And
so how much was he making a year? About
150.
Okay. 150.
About 150. And he was honestly doing really well. Like it got easy for him. I think it was like complacency almost. So he was just working from home, kind of just doing his thing. And I was just like leveling up. He was like, okay, I can see that you're making 20, 30, 40 grand a month, but I want to see you do it consistently. So I did. And I wanted to prove to him that FFL was legit, that the numbers were real, just like you proved to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he started in December. And honestly, we just had to sit down and have like a real conversation. Like we realized that, and you realize that FFL isn't a 15, 20, 30-year hustle, like at all. It's go all in for 2 to 5 years and you're literally set for the rest of your life. And us being 25 years old, well, a lot of our friends are going to Hawaii and going to Tulum every weekend and partying and all that stuff. We had to have like a legit conversation with ourselves where we're like, what are we willing to give up? Okay. Are we not going to go on these trips? We haven't gone on a vacation since my Hawaii vacation. But yeah, we just literally had to sit there and say, what are we willing to give up and what are we going to give up and how all in are we going with this? So we decided like, hey, it's a 2-year field grind for us. Like we're both going to Hall of Fame. I already hit it, but you're going to hit it now. Right. And we're going to build and we're going to wake up early and we're going to go to bed late and we're just going to get the job done because we know what the future holds for us with FFL. So
how does it work with you guys both kind of, working together, living together, being, you know what I mean? Like that whole thing where any impacts there, or has it been easy?
I mean, sometimes we want to rip each other's heads off, but it's normal, right? Like, just like if you and I spent a bunch of time together, we'd probably bump heads a little bit, right?
A little bit.
But we get over it. Like it is what it is. Just keep moving. We're trying to build a business and we're really serious about it. So
awesome. Let me ask you one last thing and we'll kind of wrap this up. So you talked a little bit about Hayden making about 150 a year, leaving his job, coming over here. So we have some people that have recently joined us or are in the process of studying for their exam, and they're making about the same amount of money, between 100 and 150K. So for those listeners out there, what would you say to them as they're listening in and looking at this opportunity? Because, 150, 100 grand, whatever it is, it's a hard thing to walk away from. But what would you say to them about this opportunity, what it could mean for them, and just maybe opportunity time and an opportunity cost? Even.
I would say if they're, studying, if they're looking for something else, especially FFL, obviously there's something missing with what they're currently doing, whether that's, the time freedom or, being able to make their own schedule, or they see just such a massive income potential here with Family First Life. Like take that and just go all in with this. And, that's one thing. It was very, very hard to get Hayden to switch. Like I said, it was a year of me like nagging and nagging and nagging. But now, he doesn't look back. He doesn't care about the 150 grand of secure income that he used to make. It's like, okay, what are we going to do to be able to make that in a month now here, So like you heard our topic, we went to the Dallas conference last week. And our topic was how to make 100 grand a month as a couple. And it's crazy what you could do once you just make that decision to go all in. And like, you're going to be scared. There's going to be tough days, but it's pushing through those days to earn some of the best days of your life.
100%. Awesome. Well, I don't know if the people here know, but so you did Hall of Fame last year, which means at Family First Life, to do Hall of Fame, you have to produce over 400,000 in issue paid business in a year. So our comp ranges from 90 to 145%, excuse me. So you did Hall of Fame last year. Your team is now doing 600, 800, 6 to 800,000 this month, right?
Mhm.
So just looking at last year though, about how much income would you say you're making on average per month now?
I mean, this month was 75.
And what about last year? What were you averaging every month?
Like anywhere between 30 and 40 a month.
So 30 and 40. Did you have a prestigious career before you came here?
No,
What was your best year?
103,000.
Okay. So guys, we're going to leave on this last note. Her highest income year prior to Family First Life was 103,000. And what were you doing then?
I was a personal trainer.
So she was a personal trainer. So she went from, doing meal plans to now insurance plans, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that article. So she went from doing meal plans to insurance plans. And last year you made about how much?
About 400.
So she quadrupled up her best year in her first full year here. Myself, I went from being in corporate America, making about 150 to 180 a year, doing over $500,000 last year. Between my team and my personal production. And so if we can do it, you can do it. We're not that special.
Anyone can do it.
Anyone can do this, right? The one thing that I'll say that we have in common is we both work hard. We've both had an attitude and a willingness to learn from others, and just we copied and pasted. And so that's really all it is, guys. We're not any better than you guys listening. We're not any more talented or any more skilled. We just put in more reps, right? I always like to talk about, having repetition and consistency, just like you said. And, because we've been more consistent than maybe someone that's on a call right now, and we've done this for a little longer time, that's why you see these numbers, right? When we started, Andrew Taylor's agency was a fraction of what it is today, like a 10th, maybe.
We were talking about how we used to be number one on the leaderboards and we were doing 20 grand a month. And now it's like 120 a month. That's the top.
I think Andrew read the leaderboard today, and there was 50 people, I believe, was like that made over 30 grand.
It's insane.
It's insane. And so before a year or two ago, we were doing 30K a month and we were in the top 5, top 10. So that just means more people are making money here, you guys. And so there's tons of people doing it. The only common thread is have a good attitude, work hard. I hope this helped you guys. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you again. Bye.